Hello there everyone, Robert here, and in today's video I want to go over two new features that were added into Wix Studio that you can utilize in your images and your text, as you can probably guess by having clicked on the image, but just kind of want to go ahead and showcase them and some interesting aspects where you can kind of use it alongside the storytelling of the website as you might be using it, or just maybe to be able to make some interesting effects. So without any further ado, just want to go ahead and jump right in. So I'm here on this template site that was actually kind of just shown to me when I was in the dashboard, and to kind of test out this feature I wanted a website that already had a lot of images, had a lot of text, and coincidentally enough this one actually worked out really well to kind of highlight the way that you can use image blending and text blending to kind of add to the idea of the story or get the messaging across for like your website. So for those who don't know, image blending and text blending are just basically kind of being able to combine two images or the text with an image by kind of combining the color pixels. And there's a few different ways you can kind of do it to either emphasize the image or maybe have it kind of literally blend into the background image or the background text that's kind of there, or have the text kind of stick out a little bit. So close enough, this again, I was going through this and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. There's a lot of images here, there's a lot of text here that I can kind of take advantage of. And to kind of just showcase it here, let me actually maybe use it here on the hero section where we can kind of see a lot. So before you would have to use CSS. If there's maybe some blend modes that you're not seeing on here, definitely let me know, I'll be happy to forward it. And you still could use custom CSS to update it. But now in the inspector panel, text images, when we come down here underneath color, there's an option for a blend mode. So we can decide exactly how we want to do it. So there's a few different ones: multiply, screen, overlay. Usually, if you're unfamiliar with it, I just recommend click on it and see exactly kind of what it does. I'll try to share some resources as well if you want to see exactly what they all do. But again, you can kind of see here, so like by overlaying it, it kind of is still visible, but it's also kind of overlaid on the image that's there. One thing you probably see a lot with like text are usually maybe like either to lighten or to color dodge to basically go against kind of what's there. Invert or difference is also kind of a really popular one, and you usually see that one with like images as well. Hard light, soft light. So again, it's kind of interesting, and I recommend just kind of check it out and see what kind of works there. Exclusion, I think it's usually a big one that you see. And I'll try it here with one of the images. I'll try the butterfly here because then we can see it as reflects with the elephant behind it. But again, if we want to multiply it, you can kind of see it's here. If the screen kind of makes it a little like transparent overlay, just almost completely opaque. But again, without changing the opacity, you still could use this. So if you still want to adjust the opacity, change the background color, you definitely can. Interesting to note. So you can actually combine it with those. If we want to lighten, color dodge, blend mode, and again, you can kind of play around with that if you want to. But again, kind of serendipitous, as I was going through it, I realized this actually kind of works really well to being able to utilize it with this. So again, normally like this owl that's kind of here, this is kind of the default, and that works really well. But having screen, again, you can kind of see the background behind it, almost as if to say, hey, with this conservation efforts, you know, we're kind of preventing things from disappearing. And I think that actually kind of works out really, really well. Again, even the text is kind of disappearing in the background, or just putting it so it has emphasis on the animals that are here. Again, this one you can kind of see is blending with some color dots, but this is kind of normally how that would look like. But again, I think it kind of gives it an interesting effect where you kind of have to stop, pay attention to read. And again, just again, some other ones too, just to kind of see like the difference that it kind of can cause. So here's kind of the regular image that's there. But now with this, again, it's almost like as if it's kind of disappearing. It was there, but now it's not there anymore. And that's kind of the effect that's going on here. Similarly here with this polar bear. And again, I think it's really interesting too, seeing it when you're using it alongside maybe images that have lots of colors. I know a lot of people might tend to maybe add like a background color to it, or put this in a container so it's all legible. but doing certain blend modes can make it kind of stick out quite a bit against the image if you have text that's like this. And if I want to do like hard light, maybe, again, this white here isn't super visible, so that's why I liked having different. Any part that's kind of there makes it a little bit visible and adds kind of a cool color effect without you really having to worry too much about it. So again, this was here, and again, still feels fairly legible. Again, the colors are there, just kind of the opposite color of what's visible there on the color spectrum. But yeah, that's kind of the feature. Again, really interesting, and as I mentioned, you can still combine it with like opacity. Again, makes it very interesting too to be able to have images behind things without really having to worry about the opacity. Like this is still opaque, but if I had it normal, you can barely see what's here. I can have this probably like at 100. And let's say, I think it was lighting that I had. And again, you can still almost see the turtle that's behind it. So a pretty cool feature. Again, nothing like super crazy, but I do like that now you don't have to worry about using CSS specifically for these if it's something that you wanted to do, or if it's maybe something you had never really realized that you actually can do with images and with text. Very cool. Now you can just kind of go ahead, play around with it, see it visually happen right away with the images and the text box that you want to use. So cool. If any questions about it, if there's any features or any other kind of blend modes that maybe you want to see that aren't listed on here, there are quite a few from what I saw. I think the team probably just picked the most popular ones that are available. But yeah, if there's any that you want to see, definitely let me know. I'd be happy to check that out. So thanks everyone, and bye for now.